Yo guys, what is up? Today I'm going to be bringing you the match versus Mind Warrior 49, coach of the New Jersey Jumpluffs in the GPC. It's currently week 8 I think, we're almost coming to a closure. The last week is going to be week 9 against Erik, aka Aston Akai, and potentially after that playoffs. But for me to reach playoffs I need to win both games, and if I somehow lose there is still a chance for me to win, to get into the playoffs of course. However, that is somewhat explained in my team analysis video. Together with the team that I'm bringing, of course, that's explained in there as well. So make sure to watch that video before this one if you wanna see an in-depth analysis of the team and more of like a visualized screen of the league table for the Division A and the Division B as well. I think it's on there as well. So yeah. But yeah, I'm quickly gonna go into the team, to the match that is. Basically, I predicted this team completely correct. I knew that he had the chance of bringing Kyurem to the game, but not seeing Kyurem means that my Clefable is kind of, I don't want to say useless because it's definitely useful. However, it's kind of a most expendable mon of the team. The only role that it really has is getting up Stealth Rocks, so that's good to know before the game starts. I also see that he has two potential Stealth Rocks, being Landorus and being the Mamoswine. So leading off with Vaporeon definitely scares them out, just like in the previous week against Melon Tushington, the coach of the Exodus CV Electivires. Of course there he had an Excadrill, but this time around I think I can do the exact same thing. Go for a Scald on the very first turn and either bring him down, one of his Stealth Rocks down to a very low amount of health, or basically burn them potentially, or just make sure they switch out, you know. So my lead is going to be Vaporeon. My win condition is going to be likely either Metagross or Scolipede, because those are my setup mons to an extent of course. And yeah, everything else basically with defensive role, and I will use them more than likely to switch into things. And yeah, he'll lead off with Crobat. Not only that I expected, since to me it would make sense that he would predict either the Metagross or the Aerodactyl, since those are my likely Stealth Rockers. However, he doesn't. It makes a weird lead in my opinion. However, it kind of works out for me. It kind of works out for me as well, because he will not want to stay. He doesn't want to stay in against Vaporeon because Skull burns and shit. And as you can see, he goes for the U-turn. Like I predicted, he will likely have U-turn, expecting my Aerodactyl switch, and he actually shows to be Choice Bandit right here. In the battle itself, I didn't notice that as of then, but he is Choice Bandit, and he has U-turn, Brave Bird, maybe something like Steel Wing and Pursuit. I'm not sure. That's like the first. Maybe Cross Poison, that could definitely be a thing as well. But yeah, I just go for Safe Scald. He brings in Cresselia. I know Cresselia is very unlikely to be like a sub-calm mindset or something along those lines, like a calm variant of Cresselia. But that's still something in the back of my mind, so I do want to make a switch into Aerodactyl because one, it's kind of bulky, so it can lift any hit that Cresselia wants to go for. And also I can break substitute with my Stone Edge and can proceed to Toxicate on the following turn. But seeing as he goes for Psychic, I know that I can just roost off the damage, and seeing scouting for what he wants to go for, as he actually goes for the Ice Beam on the following turn, kind of showing that he is in fact not the sub-calm mindset or any calm mindset, because he can basically hit anything like my full team with Psychic and Ice Beam and Calm Mind and shit, because Metagross walls it, Vaporeon walls it, etc. So that isn't a likely set, so I know that for a fact that he is not going to be Calm Mind. Unfortunately, he freezes me on that turn, which is kind of annoying because I would have been able to Toxicate right there and then, which would have granted me kind of a lot of momentum because, yeah, his Cresselia Toxic is always nice. He doesn't have any heal bell users, so yeah. And it also means that I have to switch out into Vaporeon and have to go for that heal bell. And I'll do that right here. He switches into Landorus. Luckily for me, he's scared out and goes into Melodic on the following turn. And Melodic is actually not a check to Vaporeon at all. It's actually the kind of the opposite. Basically, Vaporeon counters Melodic instead of the other way around. So that's kind of funny for me, kind of lucky for me, because that grants me the momentum that I just lost. However, I would have still preferred to have a Toxic on Cresselia, of course. But yeah, I just go for the Wish and go for the Heal Ball on the following turn, just scouting for what Melodic is going to do, and at the same time making sure that my Aerodactyl isn't frozen anymore, which means that it can do the things that it's supposed to do again. He goes for a Scald. I'm not really sure why. I really am not sure. Maybe hoping that I would switch out or something, being afraid of this, but I'm not. And yeah, as you can see, I will switch out in the following turn because this is kind of melodic, is because Cure is not in the field or brought to the game. I know that Clefable is basically only useful to get Stealth Rocks up, and the easiest way for me to get Stealth Rocks up is against either Melodic or against the Clefable. And Melodic is in right now, so why not try to get Stealth Rocks up right here? And I'm gonna try to get Stealth Rocks up right here because, as you can see, Melodic stays in for some reason. Again, I'm not really sure why, because I clearly wall it for days. Maybe I was gonna try and hope to get a burn because in case I was in a Wire Clefable, which would make sense. However, I am Magikarp, so yeah, not really anything huge. I'm just gonna go for the Moonlight because I want to heal up as he goes for the Crobat switch. I kind of expect him to go for the Defog right here because, like I said, I didn't know at the point that he was choice banded, but still staying in with Clefable was my best play because T-Wave Crobat is amazing. Also, I don't mind losing Clefable because, like I said previously, it's my most expendable member on the team. And the switch ins to this would be Aerodactyl, but Aerodactyl, I want to keep that a good amount of health. So there's no reason for me to risk Aerodactyl right here to a crit or whatever. I don't think it adds a crit anyway, but I'm just going to go for the Moonlight. Trying to see if I can get the Paralysis Hex on him. If I can, then I can still switch out into Aerodactyl. If not, that's okay, because I get a lot of damage on him with the Brave Bird Recall, and Clefable, like I said, again, is my most expendable on the team, so I don't need it at all. So the damage that it did to his Crobat was fantastic, because now he cannot switch out and he's paralyzed, so I can just get a free kill here. I go to Aerodactyl, go for the Aqua Tail, because Aqua Tail is my most accurate move. Luckily, do not miss. And I continue to KO the Crobat right here. I went for the Aqua Tail mainly because I wanted to deter his Mamoswine or Landorus from being brought into game and getting up Stealth Rocks in case he was one of those sets with Stealth Rocks. And look at me, he does the thing that I wanted to do and switch in Melodic. Mainly because Melodic cannot touch most of my team. Vaporeon is the best counter in the game. At least on my side of the field at this time, which is kind of why I make a mid-ground play, maybe hoping him to predict the Melodic switch in and go for a different move. But I'm just going to Latias, mainly because Latias has some offensive presence on his team. However, yeah, it doesn't really work out for me because Melodic actually walls this Latias. Unfortunately, he's not scared out because, like I said, Vaporeon is the easiest switch in of the game. And he seems to be okay with Vaporeon coming in despite him not having a lot of switch-ins to it. So I'm not sure why, but I'm just gonna try to get the momentum back here by going into Vaporeon as he goes for the recover. While I roost up and he goes for the recover. And here I go into Vaporeon because Vaporeon, like I said, just pressures his team. He cannot switch in a lot. Melodic is walled by this Vaporeon, so I'll win 1v1 very easily. I just need to get Skull Burns. However, last week I didn't get any. Out of 3 skulls I used, I didn't get any. And this game I haven't gotten any as of yet, so yeah, maybe I will, maybe I will, maybe I won't. However, as you can see, Vaporeon just easily walls the shit out of this Melodic. He goes for the Hidden Power Grass on the following turn, and it does jack shit. Not really sure why it Hidden Power Grass, but maybe it was Hidden Power Electric, it could also be a thing. But yeah, it doesn't do anything. I guess it makes some kind of sense in case my Vaporeon was low or something for some reason, and then he would have been able to KO me from a low amount of health without me being able to heal up. So there's some kind of logic to that. However, it's not scary as of yet because Vaporeon is at full health and it doesn't do anything to me. So I can just continue to go for Skulls and weaken him and trying to get Skull Burns on his incoming ones. The second Skull in the game, as you can see, wasn't a Skull Burn, and the third Skull again is no Skull Burn. So I'm getting really unlucky with the Skulls and the no burns, despite Skull being notoriously known for getting burned 100% of the time. However, not with Vaporeon for some reason. So yeah, he goes into Cresselia. I am not scared by Cresselia at all. I'm not really sure what he's gonna go for. Expecting to go for the Energy Ball, being like some kind of 3-attack set or maybe a 4-attack set if he's like Sierra Ball for the Metagross. And he actually goes for the Energy Ball, and as you can see, Energy Ball does less than 25%. Meaning that I can live any hit he wants to go for. An Ice Beam does the same amount of damage as Energy Ball, so I'm not really afraid of that. If he plays Marus and goes for the Energy Ball, that's fine too. If he just wants to go for a middle ground play in Psychic, that's fine. I can live any 2 hits of his and I can just roost up the damage. Meaning that I have a very free turn to go for Toxic right here. Expecting him right here to go for the Energy Ball, predicting my roost. Of course, it's not really a 2-hit KO. It doesn't really do over 50% damage. However, it's it might still be his best play, hoping to get a higher roll or something. I'm not really sure, but I'm expecting him to go for the energy ball right here, which is why I will switch out into Metagross, as you will see in the following turn. In hindsight, roosting would have been a best play, because he makes a switch that is kind of questionable in my opinion, as he goes into Landorus. I'm not really sure what he was expecting there, because what's it called? Mega Aerodactyl is actually a counter to Landorus. As I outspeed it, his stab moves and his coverage moves are unlikely to do a lot of damage to me, unless he's like Rock Slide, but it turns out he's not Rock Slide, as he's Sub-Calm Mind. And I have Aqua Tail on Aerodactyl, so I'm not really sure why he made that switch, because Aerodactyl would have won 1v1 versus Landorus. However, it works out for him because I switch out into my Metagross expecting the energy ball from Cresselia and just putting pressure on his team from there. But he knows that I have to switch because I'm not Scarfed or anything. I guess he predicted me to not be Scarfed. But I got a switch. He goes into Landorus and gets the sub up. He goes for Calm Mind. And as you can see out here, the Landorus outspeeds me, which is kind of a misprep on my end. It wasn't meant to be Modest Latias, it was meant to be Timid Latias. However, I accidentally made it Modest Latias, meaning that I have to take a huge amount of damage from the Sled Wave that, from a +1 Landorus. Unfortunate, however, I can still live this, so it's not all that bad, and I can KO him with the Ice Beam on the following turn. So Landorus is gone, and I'm looking up pretty nicely with 5 and 4. He brings in Mamoswine here. I'm gonna pause it real quick again. Mamoswine, basically right here, is kind of a huge turn in the game, because if Mamoswine is gone, my Scarlet sweep's guaranteed, unless he like sets up before me, of course, with Absol. But yeah, so I want to KO the Mamoswine for on. On the other hand, Mamoswine isn't a humongous threat, I want to say, since I do still have Bullet Punch and Metagross. I still have Vaporeon that can easily wall this thing to shit, and it's a free switching unless he is Life Orb, Adamant with EQs and shit that do a lot of damage. However, I think my safest play right here is either going to Vaporeon or second Latias. Latias isn't doing a whole lot for me unless I toxic the Vaporeon, and well, Crusader is already toxic, but unless I toxic the Vaporeon, Latias will not win 1v1 versus the remainder of his team. So I decided to let Latias go right here. However, he turns out to be Scarfed and misses the Stone Edge, and that's huge because I go for the Draco Meteor. Like I said in my team analysis, I didn't expect him to make any fancy doubles, like trying to make a sack, expecting the Draco Meteor, and then setting up with Absol on me, and he actually didn't do that because he basically got very lucky with the Stone Edge miss, because now his Absol can come in freely and just scare the shit out of me. Right here, I'm not really, I wasn't panicking or anything, but I did make kind of a misplay, because the best play for me would be to just go for the Draco Meteor, do 55 to 65% damage, and force him to KO me in the next turn, because another Draco would have obviously killed him from that range, of course. However, I make the switch into Vaporeon because I know that Vaporeon is easily able to lift the +2 knockoff that he's gonna be bringing into me, be hitting me up with, I guess, yeah. And as you can see, he goes for the short end, so he's the set that I was fearing, kind of, because this set is something I definitely predicted him to run. And I basically have to sack Vaporeon right here and hoping to get a Skull Burn. I've been quite unlucky with Skull Burn, so can I get a Skull Burn right here? That would be amazing. I actually cannot. As you can see, it was a little bit too fast, but I cannot get a Skull Burn, and that is awful, because now Absol is a huge threat. I lost Vaporeon, which would have been able to do a lot of damage versus the, at least to stall out the Milotic. So it would have been useful. It's not the most amazing thing, of course, because it's defensive, and I have a lot of offense that can still win versus him. However, the current threat in the game that is Mega Absol is a humongous problem. Luckily for me, I have a Metagross with a Colbert Berry, so there is not, basically not all hope is lost. I have also Agility, I have Bullet Punch, I have Meteor Mash and Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch for the Melodic, of course, and Bullet Punch and Agility to basically play mind games with this Absol. He has to be Jolly Absol for to outspeed Latias. However, if he is max Adamant, max attack Absol, he can still not OHKO me with a knockoff from full health Metagross, because I have a lot of HP investment. So there's no reason for me not to go for Agility. However, there's also not really any reason for me not to go for the Bullet Punch, because I can still live a Sucker Punch from full and continue to kill him from there, and that's what I'm gonna go for. So I can live the Sucker Punch, except for he fucking crits me. He crits me. That's huge. And that's actually huge because I'm gonna pause it again right here. In hindsight, of course, agilitying up and then bullet punching would have been the best play, because no way he would have, even if he went for the knockoff on the first turn, predicting me to go for the agility, that's fine. I would have been able to live that. I would have been able to out-prioritize him with the bullet punch, and I would have been able to defeat the Absol. In hindsight, that was my best play. I didn't expect him to crit me though. That's the thing. I didn't expect a crit. I was basically considering, okay, I'm just gonna bullet punch this to that. If he goes for the Sucker Punch, I can easily live that, and I could continuously go for that from there. And this is huge because now I'm forced into a position where I have to play with mind games with the Sucker Punch and the knockoff and yeah, those things. So that's huge. That's absolutely huge because my player spot is depending on this. If he didn't crit me right there, and if I would just been able to KO the Absol right here, I would have had the game in the back. Because he would have likely brought in Melodic, well, either Melodic or Cresselia, not really sure which one. I think Melodic, because I would have had Metagross in at like 80% health. Melodic would have been able to scald me to, I wouldn't say to death, but Melodic would have been able to scald me. I would have been able to Thunder Punch it for some good damage. And he would have been able to KO me. On the following turn, I would have been able to KO him with the Draco from Latias. If he switched out into Cresselia, that would have been fine as well, because Cresselia is easy setup for my Payapa Berry Scolipede, which I would have been able to get in freely and would have been able to set up Sword Dance to win the game with. So I would have at least had a 3-0 victory guaranteed. 4-0 depending on how he played. If he went into the Melodic, of course, if he went into the Cresselia, I would have been able to just 4-0 win the game 4-0 because of my Scolipede, which would have been able to get in for free right there because he would have gone for a Psychic against my Metagross. So yeah, I would have been able to win. The game was in the back. There is no reason for me not to like choke away the victory because Payapa Berry, which of course is Psychic Resist Berry for those who don't know, would have been able to OHKO the Cresselia after a +2 boost, and also after +2 boost I would have done enough damage to KO the Melodic after Stealth Rocks, because Melodic is currently at 78%, so after Stealth Rocks at 66%. The minimum damage from +2 boosted +2 set up Mega Horn from Scolipede does 76% minimum damage. So that would have been an easy OHKO against a physically defensive Melodic. However, everything is gonna go downhill from here because Absol is in. I am scared shitless because you might have guessed for this whole explanation of the potential, like the theory running behind the not getting crit part of the video, of the game, of the battle. I'm not really sure, but I have to play mind games and I'm not gonna be victorious in these mind games because right here he's gonna go for Sucker Punch. I'm gonna go for Sword Dance. I'm probably should have gone for the Protect right there, but I'm gonna go for the Sword Dance. On the following turn I'm gonna go for the Protect as he goes for another Sucker Punch. I'm gonna go for another Sword Dance, and on the following turn he's gonna go for a knockoff, predicting me to go for the Protect, and I actually hoped for him to go for another Sucker Punch, then predicting to go for the Protect, and then being able to KO him. However, it does not work out for me. In hindsight, it was kind of stupid for me to not go for this attack right there on the predicted Protect, but yeah, if that did work out like I had in my head, yeah, like I thought in the game itself, then I would have been able to come out on top and I would have been able to love this hexy end of the video, of the battle off. But yeah, right now I lose 3-0 because of a critical hit from a +2 Absol Sucker Punch against my Cobra Berry Metagross. And this is actually pretty horrible. Not only do I lose, not only does my current win-loss record in the GPC Season 4 come to a decent shit, almost closure, because of course the Week 9 match still has to be played, but I'm 5-3 now, and that's bad because my playoff spot is on the line. I had my playoff spot secured. If I didn't get crit right here, I would have been able to reach the playoff spot almost guaranteed unless I lose like very big on in next week, which I don't plan to do, of course. But I would have had my player spot secured. So right now, I do not. This crit was huge to the point where I am now in a decently okay, but also decently bad situation to reach the playoffs. I will show you that in a bit. So to prevent you from getting any spoilers on that, and so that there is like a spoiler warning right here. So make sure to click off the video in case you don't want to be spoiled. That comes down into like 30 seconds though. So. But yeah, good game to Christian. Of course, you cannot help. It's not your fault that you got the crit against me. There's nothing you can do about that. I think you played a good game. You did make the good preparations with SD Absol. The only thing that I was really questioning was the melodic. However, in the end, it all worked out for you. Unfortunately for me, of course, because it means that I'm basically, yeah, like I said, I'm fucked. I will show you the current league table right now. So if you don't want to watch the league table, if you want to watch the other games before getting spoiled by me in this video, then click off the video right now. If you do, then thank you for watching the video. If you like this, then click that like button, because that's appreciated by me. I love you if you do so. But in the next 5 seconds I will click off this battle and go to the league table on the GPC spreadsheet. So 3, 2, 1. Da-da-da-da, that's not the league table. Here we go, the league table. I guess like this. As you can see, currently the Bangladesh is number 1. Then I am still number 2, so technically I'm doing alright. The Phoenix and Flores is the number 3, but also kind of the number 2 because he has the exact same differential as I have. Bristol Badoos, which I'm facing next week, is in 4th with only 1 differential point less than I have. And the Weimar, the coach of the Miami Infernapes, is also still kind of in the run for the playoffs. He has to get very lucky though, basically like a very odd way of... Basically Uzair has to lose, I think Rizzy has to lose, and Erik has to win 1 over me for Weimar to win, to get to the playoffs, and he has to win 6-0 himself. Something along those lines. Yeah. Weimar unlikely to reach the playoffs, but miracles have happened previously as well, so it's not impossible. However, for me, it's of course I don't care about Weimar. It's all because I need to get playoff spot. I don't care if he joins me in the playoff spot. I just need to make sure that I reach the playoff spot, and for that to happen, I absolutely need to win against Erik next week. Because if I lose, I'm out of the playoff spot guaranteed because of this loss today against the crit machine Absol from Christian, coach of the New Jersey Jumpluffs. However, yeah, like I said, I need to win next week guaranteed against Erik, and preferably with the highest differential possible, because as you can see, Rizzy has the exact same differentials I have, and if we tie, thankfully I get to be in the playoffs instead of him, because in the match we had against each other, me versus Rizzy, I won 5 over him. I think it was week 3 of the GPC. I won 5-0 against him, so thankfully for me, that means that yeah, I have the more likely chance of reaching playoffs. However, Rizzy I think is playing. Oh, should look that up before I'm gonna make assumptions. Let's quickly see. Rizzy is playing Phoenix and first playing Exeter Chibi Electrifier, so he's playing Melon. Melon is unfortunately not able to reach player spots anymore, which kind of sucks for him. However, yeah, it kind of sucks for him. However, I know for a fact that he wants to end the season with a positive win-loss record. So he definitely wants to try and defeat Rizzy. Also, he wants to be in the top half of the league, and also he wants to surpass Weimar. Guaranteed, I can guarantee he's motivated to become at least like a runner-up in the playoffs. And that is what I'm going to be banking on, because I need Melon to have a really good game against Rizzy, preferably winning against Rizzy. However, of course, in the worst case scenario, Rizzy is going to win against Melon. But if Melon can make basically the game very close, I have a decent chance of beating Erik with enough differential to where I will reach the player spots instead of Rizzy. So, of course, if Uzair, Schady actually, because Uzair is having exams and Schady takes over from him. If Schady loses against Christian, the Hex Machine today, If Christian gets lucky again next week, potentially with a crit from a Mega Absol. If Christian gets lucky again next week, then maybe, well, then likely Uzi will not be in the playoffs, and I will likely be in the playoffs if I win, of course, because I need to win. If I don't win, I'm out anyway. And potentially Rizzy, Weemore, one of those will be in the playoffs. So I guess Melon technically still has a chance of reaching playoffs, actually. If Weemore wins like 1-0, Melon wins 4-0, Uzi loses, Rizzy loses. Yeah, I think he might be in then. And if I win against Erik, or Erik wins against me, that doesn't really matter. I think Melon can still be in the playoffs, actually. So yeah, Melon, you still have a chance. Please go for it, because if you somehow make the miracle happen of reaching playoffs, then go for it. Please win high. Doesn't really matter to me how high you win, but please win and do all you can to make that happen. But yeah, basically this is part of the video is like really rambly, but as you can see right here, I need to win next week, and depending on how the match versus Rizzy and Melon goes, I need to win with enough differential to where I beat Rizzy, or at least tie with Rizzy in the on the league table. If Uzi loses, or Schady, like I said, if he loses, then my playoff potential spots thingy is very preferable, because that means that I still need to win, but I don't need to win with a high differential necessarily. And yeah, I think that's about it. Next week I'm facing Erik. He has gotten a 5-win streak right now. He started the league off with going 0-3. However, he has won the last 5 games in the GPC, so he's now 5-3. But yeah, see you next week. Hopefully you like this.